everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, we got a very cool guest, someone that has become one of my good friends, Juman. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him. We're going to talk to him about his horror movie, The Summer of the Wolf, and he has a brand new song too that he just made. So we're going to talk to him about his music, about his movies. He's real big into martial arts with training and everything. He's boxing. He's an amazing person, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with him once again. I mean, me and him text a lot, and he's the nicest person you could ever meet, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him and interviewing him for my show. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room, and my interview will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. Oh my God, buddy. I'm so happy for you to come back on the Grue Rume Show. Like I was saying earlier before you came on, I introduced you to the show again. I said like how awesome you are. And the first time we did the interview, we hit it off so well that now we became friends and we text, and you're just really awesome.
Thanks, man. I'm so excited to be back. Thank you so much for having me. You're a great guy. I'm so glad that we got to meet through this.
Definitely, buddy. Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna start off because we were just talking about this before we came on. You're a big Five Nights at Freddy fan.
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Since day one. Here's the important stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's lore. Okay, so.
So, what is it about the game you like?
Man, so Five Nights at Freddy's is interesting because it's not just a jump scare game of like, scare you, okay, move on. Scare you, okay, like, let's move on. It scares you at at the fundamental lore, like the idea of like children haunting you. Like that's a whole nother level of like, ugh, you know what I mean? And it just gets darker and darker, and there's so many crazy twists and turns. And honestly, I don't know, like the plot is impossible to keep up with, but there's a movie being made, and I'm praying to God that it clears some stuff up. I know Matt Pat from Game Theory is trying his best, but even he's starting to, tap out a little bit. So, but Five Nights at Freddy's since day one, I'm not giving up now. To come too far in. I was the first. I have seen everything.
Well, if they're making a movie, you need to be in it. Like that. That's definite.
I mean, listen, I'm not huge on horror, but my first movie was a horror film, and Five Nights at Freddy's has already got me hooked in. So,
see,
I'm just saying that out there. That's all. That's all. Let's just leave that on the table and see what happens.
Well, when the film comes out, if I see your name coming up on the film, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, it happened.
Yeah, I'll thank you. I feel like I know today. What's today's date? It's the 26th. On March 26th, that's the day. Oh, quick start. Today's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday to your dad. Mine's is coming up in a couple weeks. So
yeah, happy early birthday, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Get your own birthday, dude. Stop trying to steal my dad's birthday. That's not cool, dude. No. You need at least a 3-week minimum distance, dude. I can only wish so many birthdays a month.
I can't take away the birthday celebration from your dad. So we'll have to talk about mine later. It's like, back off, man. That's my dad.
I have to get born on that day, dude. What the heck? There's a 2-week gap. Didn't you do the day in orientation before you were born? Come on.
I know. I'm sorry. I should have been popped out of the wound a little later.
That's on you, dude. Really, there's no other excuse.
Yeah, I could have like cried and not want to come out of the womb, and force myself back. Oh, like I need a 3-week grace period.
Yeah. Don't you know Micah Juman's dad was born today? I can't go yet.
Oh my God, that's so funny. You're drinking water, huh?
Yeah, no, I talk so much. I need to stay hydrated. I don't know when to shut up.
No, you see, right now in Philly, something happened. There was like a chemical leak, and they told us that we're not allowed to use the spigot water for at least a day or two. So everyone ran
Really?
out. Everyone ran out to the stores. Like me and my mom were at the store like about an hour ago, and all the gallons of water, all the cases of water are all sold out, all gone because you
That's
can't use
crazy.
regular water, even if you cook or make tea. So you have to go out and buy gallons or like cases of water and use that because you can't use nothing that is connected to like the stream.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
It's insane, isn't it?
Have fun with that, man. When we were filming Summer of the Wolf, you would see like on the lake there had these like they would filter water in through the lake to like
Yeah.
put in the faucets and stuff. And like one of the places we were staying, because there was a few different filming blocks, was like they said like, hey, if you're doing the water, like don't use the sink. Like we have gallons of water in the fridge for you to use because the filter thing is like broken. And I was like, oh. Pray to God I don't forget that. Like in 3 in the morning when I'm like half asleep, like, oh, let me get some water. I like drink in like I don't even know.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Like you're waking up and you forget
Yeah,
that you have to drink the bottled water and you're drinking contaminated water. And
yeah.
yeah,
Like in
it's not
Minecraft, you know how like you like when you eat bad food, you're like a little food bar goes like poof, poof, poof. 3 in the morning. I'm like,
good. and then the you if you say you were filming the horror movie, so they would think you were just acting, like you were
yeah,
turning into
right. Like like some guy's walking his dog by the house. Like, wow, that guy's like really good at acting like in terror. I'm like, help me, please.
you're like, I swear I am not turning into a wolf.
Yeah, yeah,
This isn't part of the
exactly.
movie.
I'm like crying out for help. They're like, wow, he's like howling at the full moon. Wow, he's really getting into character. And I'm like, ow, ow, ow.
I know. Your howls are for a different reason.
Yeah, yeah, not the ideal situation.
Yes, exactly. So I see, like, we talked about the first time, and you're a big into martial arts training, and I saw like at the start of the year you made like a fighting reel, a martial arts reel with your dad, whose birthday I'm not going to steal.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
because he looks strong. I don't want any parts of that.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I'll brag about my dad a little bit. He is a lethal man. He like it's so funny because like especially like years ago, he was like he was a pretty skinny guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he didn't have that. He was in shape. He didn't have much muscle mass or anything. But like when he threw a punch, it was like faster than the speed of light. It was like if you blinked, it was already at your nose and back. That guy is so fast.
Oh my
And
god, are you
so like even though we
serious?
were filming that fight reel, because I was like, I am lucky enough to have a ninja assassin of a father. I was like, hey dad, I'm gonna take advantage of that. Can we like maybe make a feel like a reel? And he was like, yeah, sure. And we're like doing so for the stick fighting part that's called Filipino Kali, and we were doing just Sombrada. If you know Kali, Sombrada is really not that complicated. It's like the
Okay.
base first, like it looks very flashy, but it's not like there's a bunch of different forms of it. We were doing the first one. And I'm like, I've done Sombrada my whole life. I'm going into this fine. I'm not learning anything new, whatever. And my dad's like, all right, I want to make this look good for you. So he gets a little faster and he gets a little faster. And I'm like, okay. I'm good. And then I start moving back and he starts shifting forward and I start moving back. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, you're supposed to be making me look cool. Like, let's this shouldn't be like me, like flinching for my life. And what started off with me being like, boom, 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 turns into me being like, boom, 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 like trying to go as fast as I can. So I just want to get nailed in the face with a stick by my dad. Because most families, they bond by like going to get ice cream or maybe taking the vacation to the beach. But my
Yeah.
family learns how to strip a knife out of your hand instead of learning to ride your bike. Like that's just
Hey, at least that's your way of bonding, right?
I guess so. I I guess so. It comes with the Juman name. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, you could go out for ice cream after they take the knife from your hand.
Yeah, if you don't get the knife out, you don't get an ice cream cone. That's the rule, you know?
Okay. So now you know you have to fight hard now because
Yeah,
you want that ice cream cone.
yeah, exactly. It's motivation. When I was a kid, it used to drive me nuts because my dad would like. So my dad, like one of the systems he's always studied really hard was Wing Chun, and that's a lot. That's very traditional. And like the first form is like super slow. You're like doing like this like slow wrist stuff. You're just learning, movements or whatever. And when I was like 5 years old, he would take my brother and I into like the middle of the woods and would just have us practice for like what felt like hours. It was probably like 20 minutes, but it felt like hours. It was just like slowly like doing this form over and over. And I'm like 5 years old. I'm antsy. I'm like, I want to go play Transformers. I want to go pretend to be Optimus Prime. I don't want to do this. And he had to like start like bribing us to like do the things he wanted us to do. Like if I was playing soccer once, he was also
Yeah.
teaching soccer, and I was like picking dandelions or whatever, and I didn't care. And he pulls me aside and he's like, "If you score a goal, I'll buy you an Optimus Prime." And I was like, "Done." And I like he sends me on the field. I'm like 5 years old, and all of a sudden I steal the ball and I'm going across the field like just with a flick of a switch. I turned into Messi. I was like not in it at all to like weaving behind these kids. No one taught me how to do this. I was just like, I want Optimus Prime. I'm getting Optimus Prime. And that's all it took was for me to like he knew how to bribe us. He was like, I know what my kids need for the push.
Wow, that's actually really good though. Like especially if you're in sports and competing in martial arts, wrestling, whatever it is. Like that's good motivation. I like
Yeah.
yeah.
Moral of the
Yeah.
story is bribe your children, just brainwash them while they're young.
Right. So are you still a big fan of Optimus Prime and Transformers?
Very much so. I don't think I
Okay.
would ever outgrow that. There's a lot of things that I like refuse to fully let go of.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny. So my baptism video from when I was a kid in church was like I was wearing like a Transformers hoodie and they were like, hey kid, why do you want to get baptized? And I was like, listen, I love Jesus more than Transformers. And like you could see the camera crew kind of be like, because they were like, you can say that. Give me the business. Because that doesn't go lightly. Optimus Prime's pretty high up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just hilarious. I'm literally wearing like a Transformers hoodie, and I'm like, listen, Jesus does go before Optimus Prime. I'll give him that.
He has one over on
Yeah,
Prime. Okay, he
yeah.
has one over on that.
Does have one over on him. I'll give him that.
Did you see the trailer for the new film yet?
dude, I was like jumped out of my like bed when I saw that come out that morning. You have no idea. I'm so excited for that show. I watched the show Rise of the Beasts from like the 90s. I already knew about all like going primal and going like Terracon, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am for that movie. And I would love to be in a Transformers movie as well. Anyone watching? I'm the guy.
All right, so Five Nights at Freddy and Transformers, like you have to be in both of those films. Like there's nothing around that now.
I'm just a fanboy. If it's something that like a lot of nerds are drawn to, I'm probably drawn to it too. Like
I saw the trailer for the first time for that last night because me and my buddy went and saw Scream 6.
Oh yeah, cool.
And they showed the trailer for that. I was like, oh my God. I said, they're making another Transformers movie. This is awesome.
Yeah, I love those movies. And it's cool because they kind of look like the G1 cartoons now. There was like they revamped the designs a few times, and that's cool now. But in Bumblebee, like the movie, it was the first time they went back to that G1 look, and I loved it. I also love Haley Steinfeld, so I watched it for that too. But but like the designs it was like so nostalgic, and I wasn't even like alive for that time. But even then, I knew like, okay, this is the source material, and I'm sticking with it. Like,
yeah. By the way, I know you say you're not a big fan of horror movies and you get scared easy and all that stuff, but Scream 6 is amazing. It is so good. Like I'm going to go see it a second time. I loved it.
all right, my brother said that too. I should check it out. I should definitely suck it up and so So I can talk about it with you and him and not get bullied into submission. Just do it, rip the bandit off.
Hey, I will never bully you into submission because you can kick my ass like from morning until night. Like I would never mess with a trained martial artist.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, Scream 6 was really good. And to me, like a lot of people said it too. This is like the goriest one. Like they show like a lot more blood and killings in Scream 6 than they did with the rest of them. Like they definitely upped it when it comes to that.
And that's like that's the best part of it, you know? Like that's what the good stuff is, you know? The bloodier the better.
You might want to turn your head a couple times because there's like a ton of bloody scenes in there.
Good to know. Good to know. Is it like Five Nights at Freddy's bloody, where like the screen kind of goes red, or is it like bloody?
Oh no, it's bloody. Like there's like one scene where the ghost face killer actually gets the knife and sticks it through the guy's head, like the top of his head. He just like and you see like the blood. Everything. And it was pretty gruesome. Yeah,
that does sound like something I would just love to see. Yay.
I think you should wait for it to come on video. You should definitely see Transformers on the big screen and wait for Scream.
I think I might agree with you there. It was funny though. So I have like I have a new song coming out on Friday from this week. So whatever.
You do?
Yeah. So since we last talked, I have a song called Rocket Ship that was produced by a good friend of mine, and it was I loved working on it. And it was a little outside my comfort zone. Cool, because it was more synthetic. It was more, I don't want to say poppy, but it was more like, it was just different than what I would normally make, which was awesome because you got to spread the boundary, you know.
I listened to it. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Thanks, man. But the new one coming out has more of like a LinkedIn vibe to it, like the music that I play in Transformers, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And dude, okay, so bit of a tangent, but I love the way that we did this. Was like the way the song is structured. My first release, Roller Coaster, right?
Yeah.
Was like a punk pop song. It was like Green Day vibes. It was like, you know, whatever, take it as you will. It was like that kind of vibe, and that's more my style. And in my mind, I wanted to come back to that. And in my mind, it was like the sequel to Roller Coaster. Mm-hmm. So like, right? Because like I think like movies. So I was like, wait, this song's gonna be like the sequel. It's called Let You Go. And there's like the way I structured the song, it was everything was done with a lot of intent to it. So like you've got your verse, whatever, and the chorus is playing. And then there's a line in the chorus called I've Been on This Ride Before. And for that line, the key of the song changes to what Roller Coaster was in. So like you've got your chorus, you're going in a key, and then it modulates for like just a line, and then modulates back as like a way of being like thrown back to that song. Verse goes again, chorus happens again, same thing. Then the bridge is what the bridge is, and then you've got a pickup, and then there's like a break in the guitars, and then the whole song is in the key of Roller Coaster. And the idea is like, there's a line that's like, I've been on this ride before, I don't want to go again, it makes my head spin. And the idea is like, the person of the song, I suppose, is like, I like imagine like walking to a carnival that you used to go to and it's abandoned, but you're like, I've been here before. Yeah. Last time, like, I don't want to be back here again, but here I am, like, you know. So like it's a cool play on emotions on like, here we go again. Do I want to be dragged into this again? I'm kind of tempted, but I'm gonna pull back and keep my guard up and then by the end of the song, it's like, screw it. And then it's in that key for the rest of the song because it's like I gave in. You know what I mean? I love the way that played out because it was like the more intent there is behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the more structure there's to it, the more, you know, depth it has. So I'm very excited about that.
Damn, okay.
It's got that Transformers sound to it, you know? It's like that old school, like, as like Optimus Prime is turned off at the cliff. Like, to all remaining Autobots. Exactly.
So like that's I was going to talk to you too, because like the first time you were on here, we talked about your first song, Roller Coaster, and now the second song is the newest one that's out, And so, what inspired you to make your second song?
So that's actually a funny story. So when I was on the movie set in Alabama, we were shooting
Mm-hmm.
The World Job Stead. There was a co-star of mine, and she and I were just like, we would goof off on set, like as you do with your like family on set, right? Like
Well, yeah, of
she played my
course.
sister, so we had a very sibling relationship, and it was like we would show each other music, whatever. And then when we like wrapped and we went home, we would talk, and I was just like had my guitar in my hand one day. I was like, we should write a song together because that's always fun to write music with people.
Well, yeah.
So I was like, we were playing around with some ideas, and I liked the idea of a rocket ship. Like I don't know why, but
Okay. Okay.
that idea got thrown in there, right? And originally it was supposed to be like more of a punk song because, I mean, look at the way I'm dressed. I scream early 2000s, right? I look like a freaking Disney XD like skater boy punk rocker right now. So, um,
He's like, look at me.
look at me, like I've got the little white shirt. Yeah, it's nothing new. But there was a line that she suggested, which I loved, and even as the song changed, and the producer Noah, like he gave some lyrics and stuff, and he's amazing. And the one line I didn't want to let go of was, so she said that she would like sometimes smoke cigarettes in the shower. It was just a
Okay.
weird thing she did, and I thought that was hilarious. Like it was just like something she did, and I love to rag on her for it. And so like the first line is like, bad habits, she can't crack it, keep smoking in the shower. She's not from this sad planet. There's something alien about her. And like that
Oh
was like
my
the
God.
one thing that didn't change. That was like that line throughout all the transition of what that song would be, chord changes, all of it. That didn't change because I was like, we made this together, and that part is gonna stay the same. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
That's hilarious. I think that's so funny, and I'm not gonna let it go anywhere. But it was like it was interesting because at first I wrote it on guitar. There's not any guitar in that song. It like has more of a synth vibe now,
Hmm.
and it's got like every time I listen to it, I think of like "Stay" by like Justin Bieber, and like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I like just a weird detached version of that almost in a sense. But it was very outside my genre, and I appreciate it for that a lot because how else are you gonna grow if you just do the same? If you're comfortable,
Right.
something's wrong.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. You always have to find new ways to grow.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool to go outside my comfort zone a little bit. But now for the new one coming out, I went back. I went back to the little sweet spot. I can't help
I
it.
I'm I'm really looking forward to listening to it now. I didn't even know you were making a third song. Like I'm
Thanks,
happy
man.
to listen to it.
This Friday, whatever, I don't even know the date. Whatever the Friday after the 26th of March is, it'll be out.
Oh, well, I will definitely be one of the first ones to listen to it then.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You
As always.
got it, buddy. And earlier on in the year, going back to your training, your martial arts training, you were on stage showing off your incredible skills for Chinese New Year's.
Yeah, that was so much fun. We do that every year. We the school I'm part of is very involved in like the Albany, New York Chinese Community Center.
Okay.
And at SUNY Albany, they have like this big event. There's a few different demos. There's one at like the plaza. I know you don't know where Albany is, but anyway, like it's like who does, honestly? But anyway, in the capital of New York that no one really knows about, there's like at SUNY Albany, there's like this cool event they do to celebrate Chinese New Year, and all these different organizations for different dances and different some will do singing opera, some will do different dances, acrobatics. Maybe it's like just a cultural like history review, whatever it is. And we have a little demo team from the school, and we go and we just show off the coolest parts of what we've learned. And it's cool because it takes a moment to put in perspective what you're learning, because like this is very culturally rich, and I think it's easy to take that for granted when it's just part of your daily schedule. And
You're right.
especially as someone who's like not Chinese, I take that
Okay.
very seriously. Like I'm like, if I'm gonna like learn this system that's like how many years old, or is rooted in this culture from this part of China, from this, like, there's so much depth to it. It's like the least I can do is know what I'm learning, know where it comes from, and like show it off to like the best of my ability, to take it as seriously as I can, you know?
Well, yeah, of
And
course.
I'm not perfect at that, but I don't take it lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna like, for the Chinese New Year, for a place for like people of that culture to come together and celebrate it, and I'm like allowed into that. Like, you know, I'm giving it 100%. I think the whole
Oh,
team thinks that way too. So it's cool that we get to like, you know, throw some swords around as friends do, and, you know, do some backflips and front flips and try not to crack our heads open, as always.
yeah, yeah. You know, as long as your head doesn't crack open, then
And it's
everything else is fun.
mission successful, exactly.
And
We
and
haven't
you
gotten
don't
to that point yet.
and you know, you don't accidentally stab your friend with a sword, then that's good too.
You know, we've had some close calls. I've cut my thumb before. I think I have some nicks in my arm, some scars from like wrapping a
Oh
sword
my
around.
god.
Cut yours, and you look at your arm, you're like bleeding out. You're like, oh, that's not fun. You probably like someone like stabbed themselves in the leg like during one of the practices with a knife by
No.
accident, a little bit. Not like a real knife, it was like a prop knife, but like, you know, little
Yeah.
nick. And like, you know, she was fine, but it's just like sometimes you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm like swinging a sword around my face. That's fun.
Yes,
But it's
yeah,
funny.
you know,
They're wiggly. So like if you thrust it, the
they're
blade,
wiggly.
like, yeah, they're wiggly swords. They're like, it moves like that. So like when you thrust it, it makes a noise because they're like props, but
Oh,
they're still sharp. Like it's metal. And so like when you like let's say you're carrying your weapons in the trunk of your car because like you gotta put them
okay.
somewhere, right? And like your friend is going to get like the back of your truck to like help you put something in, right? And they open the trunk and they just see like the load of weaponry. And you have to like, they're like, excuse me, and you have to like show them how wiggly it is so they don't get frightened. You're like, look, it'll be okay. It's a little prop. I promise. I won't cut your head off. Don't spill anything in my car and we're good.
Right? Yeah. As long as the blood spills on the ground and not in your car, then yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah,
all I
of course.
have. My car is red on the outside, so even if it's on the outside, that's all good. It'll blend. Just don't get on the inside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you know, you don't want to spend hours wiping it out of the car, cleaning it, sending it through
Yeah,
drive-through cleaning service.
bloody awful.
And then you know when if you go to a pro to clean it, you have to explain to them why there's blood inside your
Yeah.
car.
They're like, hey,
Yeah.
so we were like cleaning your car and we noticed the smell and we have some concerns. Like, what did we just get ourselves involved with? Sir, you better leave an abnormally large tip for what we
Yeah, right. And then they're over there writing down your license plate, saying,
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
if
They're
I
taking
should
as much
report
notes
this
as
or
they can.
not.
Yeah, they're like taking as much information as they can. You're trying to be like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's okay, but I just cut someone open with a sword. But it was practice.
It happens, man. It happens. Like, oops. My bad.
And, martial arts isn't the only thing that you're training. Like I saw like a video you just did. I think it was like this month in March, and you were doing like so you were hitting the speed bag. You were doing some boxing.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do that too, right?
Yeah. So I've been like, same thing with like my dad. That's always been something I grew up with. But I started taking it seriously within the last year or so.
Mhm.
I just like, I think the gym has always been therapeutic to me. You know, like I've always liked going at the end of the day because it's like some people are like early birds. I want to get it done with. Other people that I would subscribe to the idea of stress relief, like after a long day. Like
Yeah.
this is my clear headspace. And boxing was like another way of getting that through. You know, like you're frustrated or you're nervous or you're just flat out too energetic, which fits me pretty well. You're like just letting it rip on a bag feels so good. And
You
honestly, so like
killed
same
it.
thing. Yeah, right. Like just like
You really
I don't know. Have
killed
you
it.
ever seen?
Like you were doing good.
Thanks, man. Have you ever seen Arcade?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know how like Vi like goes crazy on like all the people that like piss her off. Every time I box, I'm like, part of me feels like I'm bi because I'm just like nailing it with like those. That's over and over and over, just letting a little bit of the dark side out, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, you did play a wolf, so you have a little bit of a dark side.
A little bit of a beast in me, I guess. Yeah. Insert Skillet's monster song. I feel like a monster inside of the yeah. No, but that's
But
funny. It's something I realized is like those are like that. So boxing or the gym, I guess, but even
yeah.
more so boxing and then music writing have been such like outlets for me, like just like throughout high school. Like that started back in
Oh,
high
oh,
school.
really?
Yeah, and I never thought of myself like I never thought I'd write music. Like the idea of writing music was always strange to me because I didn't understand it very well when I was in high
Yeah.
school. Like I grew up in like choir. I grew up in like barbershop choirs and like full
Okay.
SATB choirs and like all these like formal like here's sheet music from like 1850. Learn it. You know what I mean? And that went like for the longest time that went over my head. I was like, how the frick do you read bass clef? Like what key are we in? How do I know what key we're in? What is the circle of fifths? Like things like that were just over my head. And I had to like take a formal class, which
Uh-huh.
I spent some time trying to avoid doing because I didn't want to admit defeat. And I
Uh,
finally, it just took me being a student with like pencil and paper to like learn sheet music. And I would like start by writing like actual notes on like stabs of paper. Like, you know, like you've got like producers making music on their computer. And I was just on like a notebook, just like writing out note for note. And like, it was a creative outlet for me.
uh-huh.
And I've always like been much like a drawer. So I used to just draw a lot, but this
Oh,
was like the
sweet.
first time I was like building something. And I was like, oh, I really like this. But the way I was doing that was like, I didn't write lyrics at the time because it was like
Yeah.
writing sheet music sucks. Like it's the way I think in my head, but it's not fun. Like writing a note for a note, even if you do it on like your computer, you're still like dragging a note to a note to a note, and then the next one, and a note to a note. And just going like bit by bit, like talking, like building a brick wall stone by stone versus like using machines, or whatever. So I never was much of a lyricist. And then by the time I started recording things, and it was just play it, just play the bass, play the guitar. You don't have to write it out,
Well, yeah, yeah, of course.
It like gave me more time to be like, okay, well now you can spend more time on lyrics because you're not like drained by the time this is done. And like when I was able to stitch words together, and I write pretty close to how I'm feeling, it was so therapeutic. It was
Oh,
like I
nice.
was like, that's so funny that like hitting something really hard and that what like those are what like keep me going, like in terms of like energy, like it's just
Well, yeah, yeah.
it was just I think it's hilarious that it's like those two extremes where it's like the delicate like, oh, let me compose a piece of music that will let me spread to the community, and then there's the other side of me that's like
Right, exactly. Yes.
I
Well,
mean,
I know when I used to do wrestling. Yeah, I mean, I was telling you I wrestled and all,
yeah,
and that was like my way of letting out everything. Like especially like
yeah,
going to work every day, and your bosses always get all your nerves. Instead of winding up punching your boss out and losing your job, I would go inside the ring and I would punch the wrestler out.
yeah, exactly. That's the best way to look at it, and the best outcome too, probably.
so, so yeah, that like I exactly know what you're talking about. Like you hitting the speed bag and all, like it just makes you feel good because whatever you're going through, like any anger you have, or if you're feeling sad, like you just want to hit something. Like
Yeah,
and
there's the
the
extremes, and
speed bag
honestly,
is
yeah, absolutely. There's like the extremes of like I'm angry or sad, and also there's just like today was just a normal day, but I need to. This is my way of just staying. Like it's almost therapeutic to point of routine.
yeah.
There's like two ends of that. But yeah, I just think it's hilarious that like the two things that I find personally for myself are like the rage of what like the I just like nail this, make violent anger and then like la 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 do re mi re do ji la so like they I don't I do
Hey,
myself that right do re mi fa so
it
la.
actually works for that's the only thing that matters. Like you got the calm side and the fighting side.
Yeah, I think I'm a strong advocate of like everyone should have an athletic outlet, at least one athletic outlet and one creative
Yeah.
outlet. If you
Oh
have
yeah,
more,
definitely.
great. Put on as many hats as you can. But I think that's just a way of balancing, who like how shaped you can be as a person. Because like if I was like only did kung fu, then there's definitely parts of me that would like, it's like, okay, but how can that's like, it's hard to
Yeah,
express
yeah,
yourself in
yeah.
certain styles in kung fu. Some, like wushu, it's easy because you build your own forms or whatever. But I don't know. I've always like, that's something I've always pushed for, is like have at least one thing on each side of it,
Oh yeah, of course. And after I saw you hitting that speed bag, I was like, I am going to do everything I can to make sure I'm always on his good side. I never want to piss him off. I
Listen,
never
man,
want to
you were
piss
the
him off.
wrestler. That's the same here. I'm not trying to get like body slammed off a building. Like you would just block that off and be like, it's all good. And I'd be like crawling, howling like a wolf for help. And everyone's gonna be like, dude, the movie's over. Stop trying to.
And there's another movie which when I watched the trailer, you and the woman that plays your mother, like my
My
miracle
miracle
boy,
boy. Yeah.
like that trailer is so emotional and so powerful, and just like the way she is, like, and you and I see you even pick up your guitar in the trailer and you're singing a song,
Yeah, that
and
was cool.
did that movie come out yet, or is that still waiting to come out?
Yeah, so that's a short film I did in New York City. And it's
Okay.
um to my understanding, it's done, but it's being submitted to film festivals right now.
Oh, okay.
And I will say I do like that story a lot. I think the woman that plays my mother, she's amazing. I love getting to work with her. Her name's Marion. She's just amazing. And uh so like that when we were filming that, I had to cry like a lot for some scenes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
crying, like any actor tell you, like no one likes to do that. Like like I shouldn't say that. It's fun to do. It's like when you have raw emotion like that, that's like an actor's dream, is like
Hmm.
be a little puppet master. Like if you're the audience, I want to like play with your emotions, like make you feel one way or another, and then rip the string and like make you cry with me. Like that's the fun part for me. But it's also the most demanding, and it's also the most intimidating, because like if you're like, you can't force your body to cry. Like you can drink
Oh
as
yeah,
much
of
water as you can, you can
course.
get in the character, you can do all the tricks, but at the end of the day, like what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. So I would like, and I wasn't like sobbing. It was like the just tears down your cheek a
Well,
little
yeah.
bit. So thankfully. But I'm supposed to get like really bad at one point in that short, like screaming at my mom. And like at the end of it, I couldn't speak.
Oh my God,
Like
really?
I was, yeah, like my voice was just gone. Like I could get words out, but it was just like we did that take so many times. Like
Yeah.
most things are made. And I'm like screaming, like, get out, like over and over and over. And then we had to go back and do ADR for the whole thing. And like I thought I was in the clear. Like I thought I was like, okay, that sucked, but we're good. We're done. And then like 2 months later, I get a text being like, hey, we need you to come to the city to do some ADR in a sound booth. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun. Like I'm assuming that's only for the stuff that's like we did outside, because like ADR with this wind and stuff, that's when you plug that in most of the time. I'm like, no, we're gonna do
Okay.
the whole thing. And I was like, the first thought that went in my head, I was like, oh no. Then I'm back in the sound booth, and she's like, all right, get mad again. And I'm like, okay. I have a water bottle. I'm like, okay. Start the whole thing. And I'm like,
I'm
yeah, that was fun.
wow. All they have to do to get you mad again is just tell you have to shoot it again. Say, ah!
Yeah. And the worst is like if it's like you have to line it up, like you're screaming your lungs out, and if it doesn't line up, it's like go again. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, that's
And they were,
hard.
like obviously they're like, they were like making sure I was good. They made sure I had water and all that stuff. But it was just the having to like be like, okay, here we go.
I know. I don't want to go again. I just screamed so much. Now my voice hurts. Can't you
I'm
just
like,
use that?
I know. Part of me was like, somebody flip me off from outside the booth so I can get my head read. Let's go.
or tell someone to walk on set and slap you across the face real
Yeah.
hard, or do something
Someone
like.
come step on my foot, like I'm on action.
But as hard as you hit that speed bag, if someone slaps you across the face, I kind of feel bad for them because they're definitely getting hooked.
I mean, yeah. I
He's
can't
like,
say I
yeah.
would love that. I can't say I would love that. I don't think I'd respond that way, but
And your horror movie, the one we talked about the first time you were on here, I saw just recently you did some kind of showing for it, right?
yeah. So it technically premiered at the Creature Feature in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. You would love that film
Oh,
festival.
oh my God, are you serious?
I wish I thought of you because it's in Pennsylvania. It's in,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
would
how far
definitely.
away Gettysburg is from Philly, but I think it's a yearly thing. So I'll definitely
It
like,
it's not far. I would have definitely came out and saw it.
yeah, I'm an idiot, but
It's all right.
but it was like it was a film festival. Summer of the Wolf has been blessed enough to get into like a few that we
Yeah.
we're very lucky, and we've been that was when we were all able to kind of like gather at, because it was the first time I was going to play like in a movie theater, and we were all able to like watch ourselves in the big screen. That was my first time watching myself, like on the big screen, so it was a very
Really?
surreal experience for me. I was like, no
Oh,
matter what happens, you can't take that away from me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, exactly.
that's something that's like marked my life story. That's like that's set in stone. So that was super surreal, and it was so great to see everyone again. But the event itself was awesome. Like it was like Comic-Con specifically for horror. It was
Wait, are
like,
you serious?
yeah, as I say it out loud, I'm like, why did I not like no? I think I was just so caught up in like, oh, I gotta get, because it was like, I'm kind of far from there, not far, but it's like a 5-hour drive. So like I
Yeah.
was like, gotta get there on time, gotta make sure I get everything set up.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, we had like posters to sign and stuff. So I was like, I want to make sure I have like I have time for everything, to be able to walk around and check out other people's projects. There were a few panels, like the Hocus Pocus actors were there, so I got to see them at a panel and stuff, hear their
Oh my
stories.
God,
It was
nice.
cool. But yeah, like it was a very fun event. I'm very grateful I got to go. And here's to many more.
Yes, exactly. You're definitely going to be doing more stuff.
But yeah, it was very fun, and I am very grateful that I got to go check it out. And like just watching yourself on a movie theater is kind of like, it was like a proper movie theater, and like see yourself on there. That's like how
Nothing,
do you describe that? There'd be times where you're
exactly.
walking through
Nothing
the
better.
hallway, and I'd be like, people would be like, so what are you gonna do like later tonight? And some guy would be like, oh, there's this wolf movie I want to check out. And I just keep walking, but in my head I'm like, ha 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 ha. Like kind
And it's not any wolf movie, it's Summer of the Wolf.
it's the Summer of the Wolf premiering in winter.
Yeah, exactly. And have you noticed like the werewolf horror films, like even the TV series too, like the that's been the hottest thing now. Like you have Teen Wolf just made a movie, and now
Uh,
you got a new Wolf series out called Wolf Pack.
yeah, dude. First off, I auditioned for Wolfpack, so that one
Oh,
threw
you
me.
did?
I did, and I remember like getting the sides for it and being like, that's hilarious, and being like cast as a wolf, like typecast, like what about me screams wolf? I don't know how to take that, but but like yeah, I noticed that too, and that kind of got me excited. I was like, wow, this is, because maybe it just wasn't on my radar. You know how when you get a new car and you get like a
Yeah.
new body of that car, you notice it everywhere you go now, or like you go to a friend's car, like my car's a Toyota Corolla. I never
Okay.
like noticed Toyota Corollas until I got one. Now I'm like, oh,
Oh
there's
yeah,
Toyota
of
Corolla.
course.
So I wonder if it's like the same effect. If it's like, oh, more wolf things now because it's like on my mind.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
seems that way. It seems like
No,
there's a lot
there's
more wolf content coming out, and I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I want you in that werewolf movie vibe. So when you're like, oh man, I went out of this werewolf thing to watch, what other werewolf thing is there to watch? I can just appear in your
right.
living room with a gas bomb of smoke and be like, well, I've got a movie for you.
You know, I mean, you do martial arts, you're boxing, you're in amazing shape, you're going to the gym for the audition for Wolfpack. All you had to do was take off your shirt and show your abs. You would have got hired.
That would be for Teen Wolf. That seems like a Teen Wolf thing, right? Like,
No, they that in Wolfpack too. Like if you
oh
watch
yeah,
the series, like the guys are all chiseled, you know, have a bunch of scenes without their shirts on,
that's
and
funny. That's hilarious. That's funny. I part of it. I don't even think that way because I'm like, I've been going to the gym just as like a subconscious thing for so long that like I think someone made that point. They were like, some actors should like try to stay in shape because it's harder to get into shape than it is to like put on weight, for a role.
True.
And I was like, oh, that shouldn't be too bad. Like that's already like kind of like my thing, like just go. I don't talk about it or anything. I just go do what I gotta do and then come back. But yeah.
He's like, but yeah.
But yeah.
And what was the last song that was stuck in your head that you couldn't get out?
It's so funny you asked that. 'Cause literally, like the other day, I was like making a joke about it. It's always something that like you just haven't. It's not even like something you heard lately. It's just for some reason it's in your head. I don't know. That happens all the time. I can't even think of it right now. But one song that I always like sing randomly is the Transformers theme song. Like I'll just be like,
Of course.
yeah, like if you and I are
that's your
talking, and
show.
like how people like whistle themselves, whatever. I'll just be like, the Transformers more than meets the eye, like to myself. Like people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Maybe the 5 Nights at Freddy's theme, Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, 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 whoa. As I'm like walking, like people are like, what? The other day, I was like I made like 3 5 Nights at Freddy's jokes in front of like a group of people, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Never mind." I like forget that I'm like I gotta pull back a little bit because everyone knows what that is, but not everyone's like as deep in.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Like y'all don't listen to all the music that gets released on YouTube for that. Neither do I.
So
Yeah.
what kind of is there any food you've been loving to eat as of late? Like what's like your go-to food, something you really love?
I love a good burger and fries. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's boring, but I love a good
Oh no,
burger.
I love that.
I will say something I've been craving. So like literally right before this interview, I had like doubles. Do you know what doubles are?
Doubles. No, what is that?
So like in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm sure other islands, but specifically just for the ones I eat, I guess. In
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago, they have these like things called doubles. It's like dough wrapped with like different beans and like cilantro and like
Ooh,
stuff like that. And it's just
that
like
actually
it's one of
sounds
those
really
foods.
good.
It's so good, and it's one of those things in Trinidad. And I like it's one of those things I never think about, but when it's in front of me, it's all I can think about. And they're so good. And my grandparents are really good at like they love them too. It's every time I
Oh,
come like
sweet.
I will come back to the house and they're there. I'm like, thank you guys so much. Or so like I've had more of a craving for Trini food because I've been around it more lately. I
Okay.
grew up on
Okay.
it, but it's just more around and it's more on my mind, I guess. But I love a good burger and fries. I love buffalo. If it's like got buffalo on it, I'm sold.
Yes, definitely. Buffalo chicken sandwich and buffalo
Yes,
wings and
yeah, absolutely. I love a good sub. Trying to think what else. I mean, like pizza. I guess I don't know. I'm really healthy, huh? For all the gym time I put in, I'm really eating part two, aren't I?
hey, as long as you put in the gym time, because like
Yeah,
you kill it, like you really do. I see your videos, your workout videos, you kill it. You're doing all kind of flips and speed
I try to.
bags.
I try to stay
Like,
fit. My goal is to just like the idea is I want to stay like I want to be able to like when I have kids one day I want to be able to keep up. You know what I mean? Like that's why like if I have the kids running around, I want to be able to like go play catch or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, of
If I have a kid
course.
that's like in ballet, I want to be able to like learn the ballet routine with them. So it's like, you know, like that's kind of cool. I would, you know, I have that flexibility now. I don't want to lose it, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to be able to do a split on both my sides, and I got lazy. It was never that great of a split, but I could do a split. And I like stopped stretching and I lost it on my left side, and I'm like too lazy to get it back. So I was like, don't lose anything else.
Oh no.
Don't lose anything else.
Is there anything coming up for you that you want to plug? I mean, I know your brand new song you says coming out on Friday. Is there anything else coming up for you too that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So, and there's a movie, a feature film directed by Brandon Colvin called The World Drops Dead. That movie's been in development for a few years now. And to be honest, I don't know when it's like pitched to release or anything, but we filmed that a little while ago, and that movie is very exciting, and I'm very excited to be able to show it with everyone. It's part animated, part live action.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a very unique story, with a lot of like heartache and coming to terms with like the circumstances around you, how different people cope, and how damaging that could be or healing.
Yeah.
It's just Brandon's very smart, and it shows in his screenplay. You know, like he's a very intelligent filmmaker, and he directed a movie called Dim Valley and did very well. And I would recommend anyone get the chance to watch it, do so. And I'm very honored to be part of his newest project. And however long it might take for that to come out, keep it in the back burner. The World Drops Dead, coming soon. Maybe.
let's hold on to that hope of coming soon.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks is like everyone's like, you do something and you're excited about it, and then God knows how long it'll be until it comes out. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Because at least in my experience, you only get updates every once in a while. like it's almost like it's best to forget about it for a second, because if you like, you just don't know how long it takes, and you don't want to rush it. Obviously, you want it to be done the best way it can be, and everyone's working very hard on it. But at the same time, you're like, it's like one day you'll be like, you know, eating a buffalo chicken sandwich or something at dinner, and you're like,
chicken.
You'll be like, I made a movie like so and so. I wonder how that's doing. Like,
I wonder if it's gonna come out. I mean,
yeah, are people gonna
I
see that?
thought I
Like,
did my best work in that, so I
yeah,
definitely
exactly.
wanna
Like,
see it.
I didn't put elbow grease for that. I wonder. That was like I got to do some cool stuff in that movie. Like I got to do some stuff that was like one take, can't mess it up. So like that was exciting and terrifying.
It's exciting and terrifying.
Yeah, it's like don't mess it up. You like literally can't not mess it up. If you mess it up, we can't do the shot. It's like, okay, thanks for that.
No pressure or anything, right?
All right, let's roll, guys. Let's go. Let's do it. Like quaking as I step forward. They're like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It was so funny on that set. There was like, so just outside Albany, there's a city called Schenectady, and this movie is shot down south, and like one of our PAs was like from like around here, which I thought was like so freaking cool, because like I said, like Albany, New York, why would you know that? Like, unless you just happen to know what the capital is, which I would hope you do, but let's be real, most people don't. Like, I don't even blame you, to be honest. But like, I thought that was the coolest thing. I don't know. I was like, oh, that's nice. We're in like a Publix at one point, and I'm like, but you know about Stewart's ice cream?
Yes.
You know, have you ever been to a Stewart's before?
I never have, but I do know it.
Stewart's is so good.
They don't have any in Philly, which is sad. So, but if I ever get up your way, we'll definitely go and get some.
Stewart's ice cream hits different. I know you guys have what's that gas station? You have Shits out there, right? That's like one of the gas stations, right? Do you have a Shits maybe?
No.
There was in Pennsylvania. I know you have them in Pennsylvania. I don't know about Philly specifically, but well, that's a similar thing. Like Stewart's is in New York State, but not by the city. So like, if you could live in New York your whole life and be like, what is Stewart's? And like
Oh,
that's like the
really?
divide of like, okay, are you like from the city or are you like upstate? You know what I mean?
Gotcha, gotcha.
You know about
Okay.
Stewart. That's the grand
Well, no,
deciding
I mean,
factor.
I definitely know Stewart's. Like, I would love to try it.
Absolutely. Next time you're in my neck of the woods, let me know.
Oh my God, yes, definitely, man,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Stewart's ice cream hits different. I might be a little biased, but I like to think not.
You're like, yeah, it's better. Screw Briars.
Yeah, yeah. Like whatever you have, it's just simply insuperior. If that hurts your feelings, check it out, Buttercup. It is just superior. I don't know what else to say about
Okay, well, I am going to take your word for it, and I'm going to make my way out there. I'm going to try to get out there for the summer because
Yes,
ice cream goes good with the summer.
yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. Stewart's ice cream in the summer, best combo. Random, like it'll be like a random one too. We'll go to like one that's like on the freeway where it's like there's nothing special about it. It's just random.
Okay, all right, that works.
Yeah, yeah. That's how we'll do it.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
And, where can fans follow you at?
So my personal favorite social media is Instagram at Micah Juman, MICAHJUMAN. Same thing for Facebook. I have Twitter, same name. I'm still trying to figure out Twitter. So see follow me there if you want, but bear with me if it's like this guy does not know how to make a tweet. And do yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else? Not really.
No TikTok or anything like that, right?
No, not really. I mean, I have a TikTok, like it exists, but like I don't ever go on it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm the
if
same
you were
way.
like Micah, make a good TikTok, you would be so thoroughly disappointed. I've tried to make TikToks with my music before to like get it out, and then I look back at them and I'm like, the amount of effort that got put into that is near zero. Like, what? Why did this even? I'm like dancing in front of. I'm like, listen to my songs.
There you go. There you go. All right. See, that's what you should do now when your new song drops. You should have it playing on TikTok and do a little dance for it.
Yeah.
Do like a martial arts dance. Do like one
No,
of your martial
what I'll
arts
do
things.
is you know how I said it sounds like a Transformer soundtrack? I'll just like
Yeah.
pretend to transform. Like I'll just like stand up and throw into a
Ooh,
ball and be like
I like
back up.
that.
And
Yes.
people will love that because that's so cool.
That that would go over big.
That there would be a reaction, that's for sure. And be like, what happened? This guy just like curl into a ball and stand back up. Do you think he's cool for that?
Is he okay?
Yeah. Does he need help? Why is he howling on the floor?
Yeah, exactly. Is this Teen Wolf?
Yeah. Is that wolf guy? What is he doing?
well, well, thank you so much for doing this again, buddy. Like I love talking to you. It's always fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. Same here. I absolutely love it. It doesn't feel like an interview. It's just two guys having a chat.
Yeah. So like we definitely have to do this every like few months because you know we don't live close to each other. So
Yeah,
this would be our way of hanging out.
absolutely. Will do. We'll have to update each other. If you
Yeah, definitely, man. So again, so thanks so much for doing this, and whatever you have planned for the rest of the day, have fun doing it.
Thanks, man. You too. Thank you again.
Okay, buddy.